Sinatra shot you, goddamn you. Is this what you want?
Logic.
It's time to talk about some Persona 5 Scramble since we talked about Persona 5 Royal. And you might ask, bro, what is Persona 5 Scramble? Well, it's pretty much a Warriors game for Persona, which is coming off of PS4 and the Switch. And yeah, it's a Warriors game. At first I wasn't interested in this game because it looked like a soulless generic Warriors game. It was pretty much like a cash grab to get some additional money off, well, some extra money, especially after, you know, Persona 5 Royal being the main thing and this being the side thing and getting some more money. But also because Primal Warriors was the first Warriors game I played. And then I decided it'll be the last Warriors game I played. And now I came to the conclusion that it doesn't exist. Primal Three Houses is the first new game for the Nintendo Switch. First Primal game for the Nintendo Switch. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, yeah. But after looking at the trailer which came out at 24th October, which is today, from when I'm recording this, it changed. It looks pretty good. A lot of people are wild and excited about this. So excited about this that the Persona community is positive. I mean, I sure as hell didn't think a fucking Persona 5 game will make the Persona community positive. And I sure as hell didn't think Scramble will make it positive. And don't say it, mother. So we had those. It'd be like that. And so here are my opinions, thoughts, mostly speculations, or I can even call it a breakdown to the trailer for Persona 5 Scramble. I'm meant to be like, am I as hyped as excited for these people? Because these people are really excited for this game as much as I am for Persona 5 Royal. And the answer is no. Not to sound like a hater, but like I am interested in the game. But I don't think it's an instant pre-order or it's like a day one buy. I think I'm gonna wait for some time and then get it for this Nintendo Switch. And the game, from what I'm looking at the trailer, the game seems to be running at 60 FPS at the PS4. And Switch, I don't really know, and it doesn't really matter unless it's solid. Like if it's below 30 FPS, sorry, below 30 FPS, then it's a worry. But if it's a solid, locked 30 FPS, then I'm all for it. Because if you play Astral Chain, or if you at least looked at it, it shows that yeah, 30 FPS is enough for an action game. It's fun enough and it's smooth enough, soon enough. Like 30 FPS, it's fine. Plus, like yeah, games like Spider-Man or God of War, which are still fun at 30 FPS, they don't have. I mean, 60 FPS would certainly make it much more smoother. But honestly, there's no need because at 30 FPS, it's still fun. So FPS is like a second or third priority for me. And all that matters is it pretty much being fun, not repetitive, and having a solid frame rate throughout the entire game. So one thing that made me really interested in this game is pretty much the story of this game. And apparently the story takes a half a year after vanilla Persona P5's event. I think it's vanilla P5. It's a safe bet, because this game is coming out on 20th February. And you know that Royal is coming out in March. And it would be a dumb decision if you have spoilers for Persona 5 Royal. And, like, yeah. I mean, sure, for Western audiences, it's not a big deal. But for, like, not Western. For Japanese audiences, it's not much of a big deal. But for Western audiences, it does release in March. And them, like, having a game which comes before the Western release before the Western version of Royal, and it having spoilers for that game is honestly a dumb decision, and let's not have that. So and there's that. And it's pretty much the families back together for a summer break. And from what I've seen from like the English dub, what the fuck, the English sub translation from Let Sauce. Also, shout out to the blessings of the Persona community, Mystic Distance fansite and Let Sauce. With Let Sauce English sub translation, I can speculate even further. A lot more people can, and also thanks to Mystic Distance's translation on certain few things, especially one tweet of interest, which I'll get to later. But yeah, Yusuke does say that we're pretty much going to the entire to the entire country to investigate. So yeah, we're having new locations. We're having new locations and new social events and social activities. Sorry, and social activities. Yeah, you know it, bro. Okay, if you see my Royal video, then you know that I love Slice of Life. And I adore the Slice of Life elements in Persona 5 because I just love the squad. I just love the Phantom Thieves. And also just the squad that got me to Persona, but not the community. Oh, definitely not the community. And like and we're having more of that in Persona 5 Scramble and in Persona 5 Royal. This shit can cure my depression. Atlas knew what the fans wanted, bro. Look at this. You cannot make this shit up. They knew what the fans wanted. You have more events, more locations, and I guess it also has a calendar. And like this calendar is another interest. It shows that Persona 5 Scramble is pretty much like it's a Warriors game, but then again, it isn't really. It's a combination, I guess. I think like this day-to-day system makes me believe that it's like Fire Emblem Three Houses, day-to-day system. Like what I mean by that, it's pretty much like, you know, if you choose to explore in Fire Emblem Three Houses, then you can go back to battle. It's pretty much exploring and what all activities you can do there, and like. You might be like, yeah, its day-to-day system is like Persona 5, right? Not exactly. Like at the calendar and everything, sure. But like in Persona 5, you can still, like, when you're thrown out in the open space, you still have a choice if you want to go to the palace or if you want to go to Mementos to normally fight shadows and take the hearts of that. But in Persona, but in Three Houses, if you decide to go into that open space, then you can go back to battle. It's just like normally exploring the spaces, talking to people, or like normally engaging in these social activities and whatever activities you can do in these open spaces. And I guess there are a lot of those. And like you can select the days where it's just a battle. I'm assuming it's that. I may be wrong, and it may be like Persona 5 system. But it seems like a good possibility for it to be like the Fire Emblem Three Houses, except Three Houses you have that choice only in the weekends, but this is pretty much just every single day, maybe, or it's more like Three Houses. I don't know. I guess we'll wait for more and see. And the other thing is the new locations. Okay, one location, one of my homies who's in the Persona community, Jokester and also Broske, both of them looked at the location and we're talking about Inaba. If you don't know what Inaba is, it's pretty much the setting. It's pretty much like the location where Persona 4 story is set, and you might meet the Persona 4's cast. Maybe that would be neat. And also if they had Iwai Todai, this is pretty much where where Iwai Todai is, where Persona 3 story is set. That would be pretty neat. Maybe, I don't know, but still, it would be pretty cool if you meet this cast of the previous Persona games. Well then, like, again, we don't know. It's just a speculation. Just going further. And now we talked enough about all that. Now the actual combat, since it is a Warriors game. The combat looks fun. Like, okay, the fan site uploaded a video showing the combat, like a hint of the combat, taste of the combat, like how it looks, right? And from what I'm seeing, it looks fun. The combat looks neat, you know, fighting a swarm of enemies and doing all that. And you can see that there are certain attacks where you can trigger, like, summon your Persona and then do a certain attack. And you can see that Arsene uses pretty much Eha or whatever. It's pretty much a curse skill. If you played the vanilla Persona 5, or if you play Persona 5, then you know that Arsene's element is pretty much curse. And another speculation that the fans had made is that Joker won't stick to only Arsene. Like, since he is a wild card who can who can store multiple personas, I think he can switch with personas. And maybe it's like Astral Chain's Legion system where you can seamlessly switch between personas, or it's just like one persona and you have to stick to that to the whole segment. But if it's like Astral Chains, and that would be pretty neat combo mixing, and that would just make the combat have a little bit more variety to the combo, and I think that'll make it a little bit more interesting to mix and match. That would really be fun. And I think this game won't get really repetitive because you're not playing as only Joker. You can pretty much play as the Phantom Thieves and also this new character who again, shout out to Mystic Distance, who translated this character's name to Sophie, who pretty much fights with yo-yos like it's fucking Kingdom Hearts 3, or it's pretty much like Killua from Hunter x Hunter. But yeah, she fights like that. And I guess yeah, like another new character that we have, and I am hoping that you can romance female characters in this as well, so you can look at some additional scenes. That would be neat. That would be pretty neat if you ask me. And it'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna love Persona 5 Scramble if it has that and great gameplay. I do hope that the story is interesting as well. So those are all the things that I'm seeing about the game and things I can speculate and break down about the game. And like I said, you can play as a fan, you can play as this new character, and it looks fun. And I'm not saying I'm really hyped for it. I did say really interested, which contradicts interested, but whatever. To say in the least, I am curious for this game. I am interested. I'm not exactly hyped or thoroughly invested in this game, but it does look good, and I'm willing to give this a chance because so far it doesn't look like a generic Muso or generic Warriors game. It looks like a game which has effort put in, which has a good story, and like it's pretty much like a good game to satisfy your hunger for Royal. But if you look at the pre-game, it's pretty much like you have another game to get excited about besides Royal. Or some people who are not really that excited for Royal can get something out of this. You know, you have all those things. It's pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to see how it goes. And like, so yeah, those are my thoughts on the game. So far, Persona 5 Scramble, I was wrong on thinking it would be just a generic Warriors game. So far, it doesn't. And the music tracks, they look neat. It also has Mass Destruction, because if you're going to have Persona 3 soundtrack, Mass Destruction has to be there. Just like last surprise with Persona 5, but I think that's a lot worse. I don't really hate Mass Destruction, it's cool, but then it's just like, damn, bro, like, if you're going to have a P3 song, Mass Destruction is going to be one of them always, it looks like. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on Persona 5 Scramble. What do you think? And what platform do you think you're gonna cop it on? Or do you think just like you'll save your money and get Royal and then get Scramble? Let's like, if you're willing to comment, then I'm down to hearing it. See y'all later.